There are no pricing police for your business. No one is coming to check out your business to help officially determine what you are worth. There's no universal committee deciding whether you're allowed to charge $200, $500, or $2,000 or $10,000 for what you offer and what you do. You decide your price, friend. So why would you automatically decide on a price that's going to make your life harder? You see, your price is a decision. It's not just a standalone fact. It's your decision. And most people just come up with a price and think of it as being the one handed down to them from the market. And usually they pick that number based on fear. They looked at some competitors. They worried that people would say no. They chose a number that felt safe. Tell me, friend, how has choosing the safe option ever helped you grow? You've never grown before by choosing the safe option. And so what happens mentally is when you decide that initial price out of a place of fear, you repeat it enough. You repeat it over and over. This is my price. Maybe you get some people purchasing at that price and you start believing that that number is what you're worth. But your current price is not proof of your value. It's a decision that you made at an earlier stage in your business. And here's the secret. You're allowed to make a new decision. Remember, there's no pricing police coming after you. But why make a new decision? Maybe you're like, well, I have some people buying now. It's working out okay. Friend, if you're not totally happy with where you are now, let's think of the cost and the weight that you are carrying by having lower prices. Lower prices often create a workload problem. So let's go over the simple math. Simple math. Say you charge $500 and you need 10 clients to get to $5,000. Well, at $1,000, you only need 5 clients to earn the same amount. Now, here's the thing. I'm not delusional. This doesn't mean every single client is going to be happy to pay you double. It means you no longer need every client. You could still lose half those sales and still earn the same revenue, which means you're only doing half the work to make the same revenue. This is how you can grow your business by raising prices. Because when you raise prices, you're making more for less effort, which allows for extra time. And with that time and energy, it allows you to pour more of yourself into each client you have. As a byproduct, producing better results and better work for those clients, leading to better testimonials, better results, and making your offer or your business or your service or your product more valuable, meaning you can raise the price again. So by having more time now, you can feed that time into those clients. You can feed it into your creative energy around other parts of your business and now support your higher price from below. Here's the real damage that your low price is having on you. It feels safer. It feels like the safer choice, right? It is forcing you to be drowning when the simple solution is to raise your price, have less clients to work with, get them better results. And let's go back to that thought about drowning in your work. You feel like you're choosing the safer option. What is safe about burning out your business? What is safe that you exhaust all your energy and all your resources that you have no room left to grow? Do you see how this is a spiral? It is a tornado, a negative vortex that you're sucked into with low prices. Okay, so you get the idea. But how do you actually raise your prices and feel okay about doing it? Well, you can't raise your prices by asking if everyone's going to approve. That is the people pleaser side of you. That is going to try to please everyone else, but in turn, make your business suffer and allow you not to actually help anyone at a deeper level. The question that you have is not whether everyone here can pay your new rate. The question is whether enough of the right people will, okay? If will enough of the right people, okay? Will even some of the right people to start pay your new rate? As soon as one person pays that rate, it shows that you have an offer and not worth paying for, maybe for everybody, but by the right people. Some people are going to say no, and that's what we want, right? If everyone says yes, you're priced too low. Some people will say no, and that is normal, and that is good because a business and your business doesn't need universal approval from everybody. It needs enough qualified buyers to support your new model. And this is where you really realize you can be making the same amount of money doing half the work you're currently doing. You can be making more money doing a fraction of the work that you're currently doing. And as a byproduct, having extra time and energy to improve your service, improve your product, and get those people better results. This is the magic of offering a high ticket offer. You want to create a transformation for someone, not just, it's not like we're selling a loaf of bread for $4 here. Yes, temporary satisfaction, you fill your stomach, but it's not life-changing to have a loaf of bread. If you can create a transformation, spend more time with each client and transform them in some way, transform who they are, transform their fitness, transform a skill they have, give them a new skill that is valuable in the marketplace, teach them something, help them with their mindset, right? If you can transform someone, you can charge a price that will transform you. Your price should reflect the results you create, the experience you bring, the quality of the service, and the kind of business you're trying to build. If your price requires you to overwork, to rush projects, to resent clients, or to constantly be chasing the next sale, the price may be too low for the business that you want. Now, one thing I've offered as a music producer is a mixing service, okay, where I mix music, I combine the tracks, and this has been a core offer of mine for a long time. And I used to charge much less than I charge now. And I remember that first time I was considering raising my prices. I had a limiting belief at the time that I thought my clients were choosing me because I was affordable. And I assumed that if I raised my price, everyone was going to disappear. And so I hesitated. I hesitated for far too long, but I finally made the call. No, I am worth more. The effort I am putting into these songs, into this music is worth more. And guess what? Someone said no. Someone turned down my new price. They said too much. And looking at now, it was a quarter of what I charge now for this service. And someone said no. And from where I was coming out from at the time, that scared me a little bit. But I leaned into it and I said, it's okay if I lose this client because I don't need every single person to buy. I just need someone to buy. You don't need every single person. And thank God I raised those prices because the next person said yes. And the next person after that said yes. And then someone said no. And then another said yes. And what I realized in that moment is that I'm worth whatever I believe I'm worth. And I just need one person to prove that by me being able to get them a result. And now after charging 4 or 5 times what I was charging back then for my service, of course, with it comes more experience, but also I know a guy who we started in the same place doing the same sort of work, and he still charges that same day one rate, and he's struggling. He's up to his neck with work, and he's not making much money, he's stuck. And the hardest part to realize is, when you tell someone like this, raise your prices, like for your own sake, please. And he couldn't do it because he was stuck in a place of fear. And still I can look up his service today and it's still that original price. Where since we both started years ago, my prices have gone up 4 or 5 times. And I'm not saying 4 or 5 times I've done it. I mean, the actual price itself is 5 times what it was. And I am doing less work with more time and making more than ever before, while this friend of mine is stuck. And if he would just double his prices, just straight up double them, he'd be making literally the same amount of money doing half the work and getting better projects in his door. Don't forget, these are higher quality clients, higher quality prospects are the ones who want to pay more. And what happens when you have a high quality prospect? You're able to get a better case study. Okay. It helps everyone across the board. You're able to give them more of your time, more of your energy, more of your focus, and they're able to give you a real result because they are taking your offer seriously. When people pay more, they show up. When people pay less, they don't have much skin in the game. The biggest change was that I stopped presenting to the world that the lower price was the only price I was allowed to charge. Don't negotiate against yourself before a potential client has even responded. You're negotiating against yourself right now. Realize that you're playing for the other team. You're rejecting your own higher price before anyone else has even seen it, before anyone else gets the chance to even say yes. You're not even giving them the chance to say yes. So today you flip that script. Today you realize there are no pricing police coming after you. You do need to provide real value in what you do. Communicate it clearly and accept the fact that some people are going to say no. Your price does not need to work for everyone, and it shouldn't work for everyone. Think of a company like a Rolex. Does Rolex make a lot of money? Yeah. Does Rolex have a lot of people who say, it's not for me, I can't afford it? Yeah. Way more than the ones who can. But do they still make a lot of money? Yes. Selling fewer watches Yes, because their price reflects a premium product. Your price doesn't need to work for everyone. It needs to work for the life that you are trying to build. That needs to come first. So take a look at your current price, friend, and ask one question. Did I choose this number because it supports the business I want, or because I've been afraid to ask for more? If this video has resonated with you, it's probably because you've been afraid, but you're not afraid anymore. Today's the day you bump that price up, friend. And subscribe if this helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.